Welcome to Entry Level Moms. Today, guys, we have 2 sessions. It's a bit of a treat. We had Mom Club earlier on, and today we have a lovely lady. Check her out on Instagram. I'm going to let her introduce herself. But I'm Nazra.
I'm Suya.
And
hi, everyone. I'm Caroline.
Thank you for joining us, Caroline. What's your Instagram, Caroline?
So my Instagram is MommynMe Community. You'll
Amazing.
find all about me there as well. So yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Tell us about because you said you worked as a pediatric nurse.
Yeah.
So let's take it back to the beginning.
Well, the beginning is I actually did early childhood studies as
Nice.
a degree first. Then I went into like nursery work and I was like, ugh, this is still not what I truly want as well. So then I got into pediatric nursing, which was like amazing, but it was hard work, very hard work, like physically, emotionally. But thankfully I got through like to the end as well. So that was good. And then recently I just finished my postgraduate in specialist community public health nursing as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what is like the role of a pediatric nurse?
Oh gosh, it can be in different areas because right now I'm in the community, so I can kind of tell you both. So when you're in the hospital, you're dealing with like treating an illness at that time. It could be an emergency, could be chronic health. It could be that they've just been a newly diagnosis or something as well. So our role as nurses would be to kind of follow on with the treatment plan. You eventually learn to kind of like identify things as well. So that's something that you kind of come accustomed to when you're in the hospital. I was in short stay unit, so I dealt with like patients that were coming in for like 48 hours max, and then we kind of sent them off home or they got admitted. But at that point, when I was in the hospital, I was just like, it's really intense dealing with what they come in with in that moment. Like, what about what's done earlier? So I was like, early intervention is me. Like, I really want to prevent them getting to this point. And a lot of people don't want to deal with safeguarding cases. So I'm very nosy. So
It's a lot, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of paperwork as well.
It is.
And it's a lot of reporting, and not everyone has the heart for it, isn't it?
Nope, not at all. Hence why I got it all.
Yeah. Wow.
But I loved it. I actually really did. I found it so interesting from, having 8-year-olds having psychosis and feeling like depressed, having suicidal ideation.
At 8 years old?
At 8 years old. And you're just like, but what's being done before that point when she got into hospital, and what's going to be done after? I really don't like being like having short bursts of contact with people. I love getting comfortable with them.
Yeah.
Just being like seeing the
them
difference.
through.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, yeah, I need to go into the community. I need to like deal with her like as my like muse before everything, before her getting into the hospital. Like, what can I do to get her to not be in there? So
No, that's really tough, man. I can't do a job like that, man.
You got a strong heart, honestly.
Oh, thanks.
Not everyone has the heart for that.
No, I see.
Me,
so
when I hear like cases like that, my heart can't handle it. I struggle to think rationally, in that moment. I don't start thinking, how could we have prevented this? I start feeling all the emotions more than anything.
Yeah, no, I get that because like my husband, if he was in the role, I feel like he would just start taking everyone home.
Oh yeah, that would be me as
Get on my
well.
back, let's go. But no, you just, do you know what? Like the more I thought I was going to get to a point when I've had a child that I'm like, I can't be in this role anymore. But actually it's made me a bit more like, no, like what more can we do like to help these young people, these families? Because I don't just help the young person. I would have to now go and feed back to the parent, and then you have to like bring them all together. Are we doing the right thing? Are we modelling the right behaviour and stuff like that?
Yeah, make sure everyone's involved, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's just the current role I'm in is like pulling everyone together, talking to the social workers, talking to any other professionals that are involved to like help make sure that any of their unmet health needs are like being met.
Do you find that with like the ethnic community, they are less trustful of the medical industry?
Yes.
But do you feel like you're helping to bridge that gap, being
I
black
think so,
and
definitely.
being someone that they can be comfortable around and feel like maybe I can trust this person?
100%, because I'm very pro entering into your own home space. So these mums or these young people, they may be like, okay, like for example, we've got a lot of young people now that are at home for an emotionally based reason. They don't want to go to school anymore. So me telling them to come into clinic doesn't make sense, right? They're going to be like, that culture shock as well in terms of who you're going to actually meet when you go to that appointment. So I find that going into the home and booking that like home appointment makes more sense, because I'm able to see them physically and show them that I understand as well as saying, look, this is not how we do it in this, country. This is what the expectations are. This is how it's going to benefit you. Or if it's like healthy eating, okay, how can we make sure that your cultural food is healthy?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Mixing that up. And I remember doing that for one of my courseworks. I was just like, okay, if we're going to create like an app that can help like families at home with healthy eating, then it has to be based on what they already eat. So how can we there's no point going into like an African home that eat jollof rice every day.
And then try to tell them to eat salad.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's never going to work.
No.
Sourdough bread and avocado. No, it's not going to work.
No, we have to find alternatives. What about bulgur wheat, but with the tomato base?
Yeah.
With the same seasoning.
Exactly. The same pepper,
Maybe
the same
let's
everything.
have what you're eating, but just smaller portions.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Let's
that's
not eat, like that meme of the African guy with the 3 plates. Let's not do that with the 3 plates.
Literally. Oh gosh, yeah. So it definitely helps to answer your question. It helps so much.
I love that. Because you know what? I work in community, and it's so sad to see like how in someone's life, in certain points, if somebody had stepped in, if somebody had said like, oh, maybe we should do this differently, how differently a child's life could have turned out. Honestly. Or an adult even. And you just look at them sometimes and you think, rah. Yeah. If somebody had helped you.
Yeah, that is why I'm still in this job. Honestly. If it wasn't for that, I'd just...
That's incredible.
Just go for something where there is more money. Let's be real.
Oh, no, listen, that sector has no money. It's mad.
It just shows your passion.
Yeah, it really has.
But people who do that, they don't do it for the money, innit? Yeah. It's so needed.
Yeah, you just have to go that extra mile and just think family. That's what you always say. Have a family approach. Think family. What is my actions going to do? It could be so small. Like, I heard the most beautiful story the other day, that a health visitor, how she just took the time and had a longer appointment and just found out so much more history about a mum that would help the mum actually now make, okay, what changes can I make for my baby's weight to grow up? Do you know what I mean? Like this, it's just the small things that make such a difference. And when I heard that, I was like, oh,
just the care, innit?
It is.
Giving them more time.
Yeah. But it is intense sometimes. You get a lot of all of their emotions and everything, but it's good.
How has it changed since you had your kid? And tell us about your kid. How old are they? What do you have?
Oh, it's a boy, a very busy boy. Like, oh my gosh. And he's 19 months old.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's growing really well. Oh. How has it changed with him? Do you know what? If anything, it makes me think, I hope I'm doing what I'm giving other families to him. Do you know what I mean? If I want to do early intervention, make sure that they're living a life where they don't come up where they've got all these traumas, then I need to make sure my son doesn't get all these traumas or receive my own old traumas as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's helpful. I think if anything, it's made me want to have an impact on the world a lot more, because I'm like, he's going to grow up and be with the people that we may walk past and be like, oh, do you know what I mean? Like, what's going on with them? I think sometimes I always tell my husband this, look, you see these kids that we're seeing, they're doing all these issues. You don't know, they could be in the class with your own child. Do you know what I mean? So how are we going to make a difference because they could easily rub off on our children
you
as
never
well.
know,
Do you know what I
100%,
mean?
100%.
So I would love to just keep making a change where I can.
That's
I always
so beautiful.
think about that. I always think about, how we all have our own challenges now when they're babies and toddlers. Yeah. The challenge when they become teenagers is a whole different. It's a whole different challenge when they're out and you don't know when they're coming back home and they're airing your phone calls.
Do you have teenagers?
No,
okay.
No, but she's 4 going on 18.
Oh wow.
I'm just thinking ahead, I'm thinking the toddlerhood. I'm thinking, it has all these little challenges. I also have a newborn as well now.
Ooh,
so
congrats.
I've got 2 now. It's mad. But I always think ahead and I'm like, how's life going to be like when they're 15, 16.
Yeah.
And
They're
having
gonna
a
be
boy
so
and a girl
cheeky.
now is going to be two different,
styles of parenting, right?
yeah. With boys it's different, of course, like with knife crime and all of this stuff. And then girls have their own issues when they hit puberty, and
boys.
it's just
That attitude.
different challenges
Attitudes.
at different times.
Yeah.
So it's
this
just,
is why I said I don't want a girl, you know.
Oh,
I actually did.
do you know what mine?
I think it's scarier to have a boy.
I think it's way scarier to have a boy
in this
Oh
country.
my,
Way scarier.
I love it. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually a boy mum. I didn't realize it.
Oh.
I could have all boys and be alright. Yeah.
I'm just thinking
feel
about
more
like
scared. Yeah, be
knife
having a
crime
boy.
and stuff like that's what I think about.
Them going out. And
Them
stuff.
going out, who they're hanging around with.
Yeah.
That's what I worry about when it
Impregnating
comes to boys.
people's daughters.
Yeah, man.
Impregnating people's daughters.
Listen, I'm ready to
Listen.
do that STI presentation for him.
Innit? Let's talk about the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
It's a whole presentation at home. Yeah,
Do you know,
yeah.
I think there's a beautiful saying of I saw online, and it was like, I want to raise sons that other women's daughters don't have to heal from.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought that was so beautiful when I read it. I was like, oh my
That
gosh.
is amazing.
Exactly.
If your son breaks my daughter's heart, I'm going to punch your son.
Yeah,
You know them ones.
Yeah.
Me and your son are scrapping.
She means it.
Even me, like, I was so used to having a girl for 3 years. Then I'm having a boy now, and I'm like, there's so many things that are going through my head. Because I'm now thinking, you know what? I have to, like, especially within the household, I don't want to be that mum that's constantly making her do all the cooking and all the cleaning.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach him how to wash his clothes.
Oh,
and I'm going to
fact.
teach him how to
Yeah.
clean up after himself.
Boy, you better do your
So that
dirty
when
laundry.
he grows up, he doesn't treat his wife like
like a
that's his
maid.
mum. That's his mum. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, it's just loads of
Different things.
Just loads of thoughts in my head.
Just take one step at a time, though.
Yeah, of course. I think I'm thinking ahead a little bit. I need to be in the present.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to be in the present. But you did mention that you had a traumatic birth, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Would you be happy to share with us? what
I'm
happened?
very happy to share. I've definitely told like a few friends here and there, and even that I was like, oh no, I'm alright. It was because it makes you relive it and stuff. But I think for me, where I think it starts before I actually gave birth as well. So I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism and Graves' disease. So that's like an autoimmune problem with my thyroid, and I didn't realize, even though I'm a nurse, guys, I didn't realize how much everything is linked to my thyroid. So my heart racing, getting palpitations was my thyroid. Losing weight like so quick was not my gym. Like it was helpful, but like within 2 weeks of going to the gym, I've dropped how much. Sometimes I could be at home and I lost like 10 kg
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's mad.
within
Yeah,
a week
that's
as
a
well.
lot, yeah.
But I think everything kind of, what I've realised the pattern is when I get really, really ill, because it messes up your like white blood cell count and stuff. I feel like that's when my thyroid just like goes crazy and stuff. But yeah, so got diagnosed with that. And then when I got pregnant, I then found out I had like a 7 centimetre fibroid that was anterior, they said. So it was at the top of my womb as well. So I didn't know it was there. I know that there was times where I'd have like heavy menstrual cycles and stuff. But I was always so busy in, like, you've heard my history in terms of career and education, that I never really put my health first. And I think that's such a bad thing that all our nurses do.
When you're on the go, you don't think about your health,
It's a busy
though.
job.
No,
yeah.
you don't. You really don't. So it wasn't until now we're going into these like appointments and stuff that I realised, oh gosh, like, you know, this is going to be something that they're going to keep an eye on like quite a bit. So I had appointments like every 2 weeks or so. And then they were like, girl, your BMI's too high. We need to check your bloods as well, like sugar levels as well. The doctor even said to me, you know, when you have your baby shower, you don't need cake, you know.
Bruh.
No, not that far.
She was really nice though.
Oh
She didn't mean it
my
like that. But I was
God.
cracking up. She said, you need carrots.
Oh my God.
I would have been like,
Oh my
carrot cake?
God.
Carrot cake for real. Ooh, carrot cake.
No, but I literally was just eating. Like the first 3 months,
That's nuts.
I didn't really eat much at all. But after that, oh gosh, I was eating and eating. And
You was like the
eating.
African guy with the 3 plates.
4. 4. Oh gosh, it was so bad. And then like, because with the thyroid stuff, it's like my like I swelled up a lot, so I had a lot of water retention, like loads and loads and loads.
After your birth.
No, this was like
pre?
pre-birth. So much water retention. Like
I had that same problem, but I never knew why. After I gave birth, my ankles and my legs were like this big.
Wow.
It was crazy. I had to get they had to put my foot in this compressor thing, and then it would like until it went down. It took like 3 days, and then it went down.
Wow.
And then I was able to walk properly. It was so bad.
This compressor thing from Leah.
Yeah, it was at the hospital. They did it at the hospital. They made me. I literally stayed there for a whole week.
Oh wow.
It was
yours
bad.
was really bad.
It was. I couldn't walk. The porter had to wheel me everywhere in the hospital.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I never knew why. I really never knew why.
Oh my goodness.
It was random.
It just might be our body type as
It
well.
could be, yeah.
Like the way things are. But I know that my thyroid played a part of it as well.
Yeah.
So in terms of just cut that bit down because the other bit is long as well. There were things in the scan that I think they should have paid a lot more attention to. So I noticed, after which you'll get a bit more, is that when my son was getting scanned, he would just sit and lay on one side a lot. Like we did a lot. Like I was turning over, like she was shaking my belly literally just to get him to turn around, just to see the sex of the baby. Like it was a lot to get him to move, and I think they kind of should have made note of that. Or whether they did or not, I don't think it was paid attention to or not. So anyway, get to the last appointment where you're making your birth plan. So I decided to do vaginal delivery. And then in terms of pain meds, they said they would give me the injection like beforehand. I could use my TEDs, and I should prepare myself because with the fibroid, there's a possible case of me bleeding quite heavily. So they knew this. They said that, we'll have, what the midwife said to me is that they'll have the medication like ready and out so that they can stop the bleeding. Which, till today, I still don't know where that was until it was got to emergency point. But now we fast forward now to light labour. I was in labour for like 3 days. 3 days. I didn't sleep for all 3 days.
Oh my gosh.
I had constant contractions, like constant. And it was weird because at first it was through the night, but during the day it just stopped for the first day. Then the next day, when it started to get a bit more consistent, it was more consistent when I was moving, when we went on long walks, like trying to do a bit of exercise, stretch out my womb a bit. So I only got contractions at that point. And then my mum came to the house with her ass off and she became my sergeant. I swear, she was making me do drills up and down the stairs just to try and get my contractions to be quite consistent.
Wow.
So in those 3 days, I attended the hospital at least 3 to 4 times, and I was sent home on 3 of those occasions. So the first time they said I was only 0.5, not even 1 centimeters dilated, which killed me. I don't that was, if anything can knock your confidence, is hearing that.
It's not even 1.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, what am I gonna do when it's like 8? If this is the pain that I'm feeling.
You're already finished, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, I was like, what am I like? This is too much. So then the second time was I didn't feel movement as much.
Oh no.
So went in, they put on the CTG like monitor.
Oh
I think
God,
that's what
I
it's
went
called,
through
isn't it?
that.
That CTG trauma. Oh my
Yeah.
I went
god.
through that, yeah.
And you're just staring at the
One
monitor and
time,
you're not blinking.
I said one time, like, during one of my appointments, I was like, I didn't feel a move today. I just said it in passing.
Yeah.
I ended up
45
sitting
minutes.
at this CTG machine for 5 hours, and then I had to come back again the next day, another 5 hours. It was non-stop.
Wow. At least they did that though. At least they did that.
At least they did, yeah. But
Man. I mean, mine, they
tiring.
monitored me for like, I think it was a good 2 to 3 hours. And then they were like, well, they're not doing much here. You're having your gas and air, which I only got by the 3rd day.
What?
Yeah, other than that, they just kind of like...
Did you
got
request
briefed
it and
through
they refused?
The first 2 times, I believe so. It was like the 3rd one, then they gave it. Because they could see that the pain, like I wasn't coping at all.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. And then, they kind of were like, look, we're only giving you gas and air. You're not, like, you're still 3 centimeters at this point. You're not, like, at the point where we can say you're in active labor. So you've got a choice. You can stay here and do nothing and do what you're doing now or go home. And I think at that point, you're just like, I don't want to be here if I'm not being, like, trained through this. This is my first child. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, really. And at the time, we were just coming out of COVID and everything. So the classes, antenatal classes weren't available. I wish I really sought out and paid for one so that I was more knowing. Because I'm a peds nurse, I'm not a midwife. So I don't really know much apart from what I've seen from my sister's labours or anything. So I was like, I'm getting out of here. I don't want to be here anymore, to be honest. So we went back and just carried on bouncing on my ball. My sister came and she gave me a nice bath and stuff, which was really cute, which actually sped up my labour like so quick. Then this is where it gets funny, but then serious at the same time. We called my husband to come back. He went to the barber's. I don't know why he was prepping to look this good.
He was like, I need to look good for my son.
Like,
Come on now.
I've never heard of anyone going to the barber shop before.
Oh my gosh. This is what my mum was just sitting on the couch like, what the heck is going on here? We're calling him like, you need to come back.
He
He's
wants
like,
to look
okay.
fresh for his baby.
Oh, he was-
This guy, he started packing, he started cleaning the house. We're like,
Good
we need
first
to
impression.
go.
Come on, first impressions are key.
We need to go.
He wants to look good in them pictures. You know them ones. He's holding his baby. He's got a shape up and a trim.
Like that was important. Oh my gosh.
That's so funny.
And then time to get in the car. We couldn't find the keys. We couldn't find the keys. My contractions are getting closer. We couldn't find the keys. My mum was like, I've never seen any of this nonsense before in my life. So then we eventually found it after 15 minutes or so.
Oh, wow.
So in the car, I looked to the side now. I'm seeing my husband excessively sweat. And I'm like, what is going on with you? Then he looks like he's getting really tired and stuff. And I'm like, let's stop the car for a minute.
Please don't say he passed out.
He got out of the car and I was like, get
Don't
some
say he
air.
passed out.
He didn't, but he threw up loads. Loads.
He ain't even seen anything yet. You ain't even got to the hospital yet.
Oh my God.
My friend, there's no blood.
It's gonna get worse from here.
So I'm like, what is going on? So I'm like, look, let's get back. Your sugar levels are probably dropped, let's see. Mum was like, no, the baby's coming.
Oh my gosh.
We need to go to the hospital. I was like, Mum, I'm not leaving him. Do you know what I mean? So we go back home, get him to have something. And he's just there laying on the floor, right? And my mum's calling the whole family like, you don't know what's going on here. This girl will not go to the hospital.
Oh my God.
So all that comedy goes on. And then eventually we get to the hospital. They're like, right, you're 4 centimetres. You're in active labour. So I'm
kept you in.
phew. I'm on that gas and air. Feel high as
It's
a kite.
beautiful.
High. You still feel the pain though, right?
I still
you feel
dream
like
of
it's
it.
an echo of the pain.
The pain is still there, but it's like in the background.
love it.
Yeah, right.
If I
could steal one.
Gas and air, nice.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
If I could steal one of those canisters.
Bro.
It does something, doesn't it?
It's
You're
nice.
I couldn't feel any pain. I don't know about for you guys, but I would when I was high off that gas and air, the contraction would come and go, and I'd be like, "Wow, that was brilliant." And then one day, stupid me, I was like, "Let me just see what it's like without it." I let the contraction come. I was screaming. I was like, "I will never do that again."
Yeah.
The rest of the time, I was on the gas and air.
I don't know how people do it without the gas and air. Those women
How?
there,
How do
the
they
ones
do
who
it
do
without
it
gas and air?
completely natural, unmedicated.
Raw dogging it.
Them lot,
No,
them
thank
lot
you.
there.
I think they need
Thank you.
medals.
Bro,
Gifts.
different breeds.
That's
Loads of
crazy.
things. It worked, but not really, because like you said, it's like an echo of pain still.
Still there in the back.
So yeah, you still feel it.
Yeah.
But I was literally, I didn't even know what I was saying. My husband was just recording me, I was just talking absolute rubbish.
Nonsense, innit?
Yeah.
It's the gas and air.
Yeah. So get round, and I was like, I literally grabbed him and I was like, look, 3 days of pain, I'm taking that epidural. I was so anti-epidural. I'm not doing it. I said, get me that injection now. So anyone that came in, I was like, epidural? Can I get it? Are you here? But the first midwife we had, she was great. She kind of organised all of that so quick. So within 20 minutes, I got that in, plus a catheter. But I still felt the pain.
After the epidural?
Even after the
Are you joking?
I was screaming.
Isn't it supposed to be a numbing?
Yeah. So they called the anaesthetist back down. He did the cold spray and I felt it all on my left side still. So this epidural only worked on my right side of my body. So I was
Are
like,
you joking?
trust me to be the 9% or 1%?
0.1%.
0.1% that it didn't work for.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
I was crying. Like, it was.
But was it like half of the pain? Or was it like
If that's
still...
half of the pain, I don't want the full pain.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that that's what I was going through. I felt like I passed out at times because of the pain. Like, it was too much for me.
Basically, you felt the contractions on one side of your body.
On one side. So
How
I
does
was
that- how
literally
does that
like,
feel like?
sorry, I was literally like holding on to the railing on one side, like screaming.
And the other side is numb.
The other side is numb. So I was like, this is ridiculous.
That's so scary.
That's
very
weird, yeah.
So they said, okay, great, like you have to cool them down again if it still doesn't work, because maybe they can put another injection in and stuff like that. But okay, I've gone too fast as well, guys, sorry.
That's okay.
So
take your time.
when they did the first epidural, like trying to put it in, didn't actually work, and like my baby became quite distressed in the position that I was in. So the matron kind of like walked in and was like, right, everyone just stop what you're doing, give her like a break so that the baby heart rate can get better. So it wasn't until like maybe like half an hour later they came and tried again, but with a bigger needle this time. So and you can feel it like pop through. You've had it, right? Have you had
I've never had that
had it.
before, and I can feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had. There's an epidural and there's this. I didn't know there were two separate.
Yeah,
two
there's a
different
spinal
things.
one.
So I never got an epidural. I've always had a spinal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spinal numbs you from like here down.
Yeah, when I have my C-sections, it's like it starts from like here
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah, my whole.
But
yeah.
the other epidural is just waist down.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so they did that one. His heart rate didn't go down too much at that point. So that was done. Then we found out that it wasn't working on one side. Then it was time to change the midwives over because of the shift change. Oh my
That's
God.
when things get sticky. The handover.
Listen.
Oh my God. They will
I think-
disappear for a bit and you got to wait for the next lot to come in.
And then you
yeah.
hope that it's the right person, right? So this new midwife walks in and I like open my eye to look. I said, oh, it's finished for me.
Oh no.
It's all over. You know when you can just tell.
Bro, yeah.
Like your whole demeanor, you're
Yes.
dragging your feet.
Yeah.
The morning is not morning.
Go and have a coffee.
Do you know
I'm
what I
like-
mean?
Come
I'm
back
like
with a
that
better
too.
attitude.
I'm like that too. As soon as like I could just tell from like the first impression.
Yeah.
I can tell by the way you say hello, the way you look at me, the way you walk. I can just tell
know what
how
I
you're
mean?
gonna treat me that day. I
God.
just
That's
know.
so sad.
Yeah.
She didn't even like do too much introduction. She went straight to the trolley to like do her checks and stuff like that. And we're like, look, I need a check because I'm like, the pain is too extreme now at this point. Like, you need to check me. And then she was like, oh, just give me like a minute or whatever. And I was like, really? Like, this ain't making sense. So anyway, she comes to check me in the middle of a contraction, right? Like, that helps anything at all. It doesn't help you check the centimeters properly. And she was like, well, you're still 5 centimeters. I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. Like, I feel like my body is starting to push at this point. But I didn't know that your body can push like that.
Oh, your body does it by itself.
Yeah, I did.
It's programmed
I did
to.
not know. Oh,
You
my-
just assist. Yeah,
literally,
it does
I
it by
was,
itself.
Screaming because it's
I'm gonna push. And they said, you don't push them as if I can control it.
yeah. So like my husband is like holding me like, just breathe through it. You don't push just yet. Don't push just yet. So my mum's like, okay, at this point, my mum's had like 6 kids. So she's like, no, this is not normal, right? If they're saying it's 5 centimeters, it's actually not normal. It's not making sense. So she calls my husband out and the midwife outside and they have a conversation. And she's like, look, something's not right here. You need to like get someone to check if you think you can't check again. She was like, no, she's at risk of having an infection if we keep putting our hands there to check her. Mum's like, no, you need to call a doctor. If you don't want to do it, we'll override you and get a doctor to come in. So anyway, I can't tell how long that time period takes because I'm in too much pain.
Exactly.
But it did feel like, because of their handovers as well, probably like an hour. So the doctors come in and then he checks and he's like, you're like 8 centimeters. You can push if you like.
What a stupid woman.
So what?
She was dragging her feet that one. She didn't care.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she didn't give a
Oh
shit.
my gosh. And then even on top of that, I was like, if you like, what do you mean if I like? My body's doing it. Can someone help me? Hello? Can like,
Wow.
and they all disappeared.
What?
All these doctors left. Like, they left me in the room. Bear in mind, right, if we think about emergency and escalation, my baby's heart rate dropped earlier. Prior to that, I didn't feel the movement of him, which led me to go in earlier as well. So there was too many things that says we need to escalate.
And your history with the thyroids and
exactly.
You should have been like classified high risk straight away. They should be monitoring you.
They should have been really
constant,
there.
right? So doctors have all gone. This midwife is doing her own thing again. Like literally doing her own thing. My husband became my midwife. Like he was helping me push through when it was like coming on and stuff. My mum was like so distressed. You could just see her in the corner. She was like, "This is not right.
Her baby's in pain, and she can't help her."
She couldn't help it. And I think that when they get older as well, like the strength in her was just like it's not working out. So he's helping me through the contractions, and then eventually she comes over because the baby's heart rate is dropping again. So the baby's distressed. So at this point, when he was helping me through the contractions, she didn't even put up, I don't know what you call those things where you put your legs on it.
Yeah.
So she didn't even put that up. I was just doing it based like bare on the bed, no help with it at all. So anyway, so eventually she comes, she puts it all up and she's like, okay, like we need to try and get baby out and stuff. I'm starting to get tapped in the head because I'm like, I'm not pregnant really because the baby would have come out by now, right? There's no baby. There just can't be. Where is the baby?
That is mad.
So I know. And then my mum's helping on one side. And then this midwife starts asking my mum, where are you from?
Oh my God.
What the heck?
Sorry.
As if it's the time for small talk.
You're having conversation right now.
Small talk in the middle of labour.
God.
Yeah, so how old are you?
Do you know,
What's this small talk?
Where are you
oh
from?
my gosh. And I think my mum was just reacting because she just felt like she had to.
Yeah.
Maybe she was so distressed that she was like, oh, let me just, I'm from like Congo, sorry. And then she was now like, oh yeah, my son's with a Congolese girl as well. So what's the bride price like?
What?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Bride price? Like, really? I think at that point, like, I don't know what happened because normally my husband could like switch. He didn't switch. Like, he just kept helping. He was like, guys, like, can we get back to this? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot. And then baby's heart rate was getting a bit distressed again. So at this point,
baby's out here getting distressed and she's like, what's the bride price? What the hell? Pissing me off.
oh my gosh.
It's actually pissing me off.
So how much are we going to have to fork out?
How much do I need to save? Like,
Do they want a wedding?
Oh my gosh. So then now they have to send someone else in to like assist and help. And I can see and I know what the colour banding is and stuff. But you sent in like a newly qualified to come in as well. And I have no disrespect on new qualified and everything. I was there once myself. But at this point, it was like an emergency. Like what's actually happening? They pull the buzzer, but like no one's like really coming at that point. Like it took a while. But then I used to work in NICU, so I know when it's getting to like intense level.
Yeah.
So the ped doctor was already in the room, but waiting by the trolley. So I was like, oh, this is going down. Like,
you already knew what was coming.
and I think that was the worst part of the whole thing is that I didn't have the words to kind of like brief my husband. But then I knew what was happening. So I'm like
so in
trying
a way,
to...
it kind of sucked that you knew too much.
Yeah.
You're thinking, I wish I didn't know about all this stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
It didn't help at all.
Oh.
But I was like, okay, cool. Let's just get this baby out, right? So I'm pushing. It's really hard to get this baby out. And then at the point where the two midwives are now like, oh, just like they're going to get the scissors. And I'm thinking like, give me the scissors. I will cut me. Like, get this baby out. Do you know what I mean? Like, just get it out.
Oh.
And they're now like hesitating between each other. Who's going to like, it was weird.
For the perineum?
Yeah.
And they were confused.
Who was going to do it?
It's one straight line.
I was like, what? And I looked at are we both seeing this? Like, we actually were like, what's going on?
It's their first time doing this. It's not giving experience. It's giving who's going to do it first.
Oh my gosh. So they eventually they're getting like the main one is about to go, but then like he actually comes out. Like I can feel him come out and stuff. So I was like, we're screaming
That's
and everything.
lucky.
but I can see that he's not responsive. Like, but I was like, I just want that second with him. So I grabbed him quick, like held him, but they grabbed him off of me quickly as well, put him on the trolley, and there was no cry whatsoever. Like, it was so like intense, but I knew if I got in my emotions, I would just accept the situation. So I didn't care. I started praying out loud. Like, I didn't care. My mum was praying on the side and stuff like that. And it was a very long time.
I got chills, honestly. Whew.
Honestly, like, we didn't hear nothing for a good, like, 15 minutes.
Oh,
like,
my,
his
15
APGAR
minutes.
was, like, 4, which is really, really low. So he needed a lot of chest compressions. He needed a lot of oxygen for quite a long time. There then became 3 doctors around him. But because I was so immersed in my, like, prayer and just ignoring what I was seeing at the time, I didn't realize that there was so many more people in the room at that point. Like, there was loads. So they kept going. Then the consultant came down, because that's how bad it was as well for the NICU. So the big doctor came, and then when he eventually started to cry, it was like, I don't know how to explain how that felt. Like, it was such a relief, like, such a like, I felt like there was more like color in my vision at that point.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
I've cried so many times. You can cry.
Oh,
It was the biggest relief, like, ever, knowing that, okay, as long as he has had the first breath of air, like, okay, now I can come back to, like,
15 minutes. 15 minutes is a lifetime.
It's
My
the
goodness.
worst.
Can I just say,
feeling.
I commend you, because in a moment like that, your first thought was, let me pray. That's the most, like, you know, when someone has so much faith, I think that's the most beautiful thing ever.
Yeah, I love that.
Regardless of who you're praying to,
Yeah.
the fact that you thought, God's gonna help me.
Yeah.
Let me ask God.
Yeah, I couldn't
That's
trust
so
the
beautiful.
people. I was already failed so much at that point that I was like, what is going on? And I knew that if I accept what I'm seeing right now, it will be what it is. Like, I won't be going home with a baby. Like, that's how deep that knowing was for me. So when he then cried, I then, like, as I was saying, like, I could see colour again. Then I'm realising that there's, like, 3 doctors around me trying to get me to stop bleeding. There's a table full of, like, white cloths and blood. There's blood on the floor. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was like a murder scene. It was
my God.
so bad. It was so bad. And then they're trying to, like, pack me and stop the blood. Then on the sides, on our left side, then the consultant for the baby doctor comes and was like, look, he's cried a little bit, but we need to take him to NICU very quickly, because he's either going to be, like, on some form of oxygen, or we're going to have to put him in a coma. So I'm like, there's just too much going on. And then at the same time of them trying to do all the back in, the whole NICU trolley comes where they take the baby.
There's
in an
too much
incubator.
going on.
There's
I can't imagine the chaos in that room.
way too much.
And you're
chaos.
bleeding out.
Goodness.
Bleeding out. And then I can start, like, feeling the stitching as well, with them trying to, like, stop the bleeding. And then eventually the doctor goes, everyone stop. And everyone just literally, like, stops. We need to take her to theatres, because it's not working out. Like, it's actually not working out. So, pardon me. So as that happens, they're like, I'm like to my husband, like, go with baby. He's like, no, I'll come with you. And I'm like, no, go with baby.
You need to look after the baby.
Yeah, but then he's in the middle and he's like, you can see him.
He just doesn't know which, like, it's too much, bruv.
Way too much. And then they, like, are, like, bringing me, like, packing me up now and getting me to the next, like, theatre room. But at the same time, they're on my side, like, oh, you need to sign this form. You need to sign this form. If we can't stop the bleeding, we're going to have to do a full hysterectomy. And I'm like, oh God.
Excuse me?
It was, like, great. Like, it was too much. And again,
It's given organ harvesting.
What the hell?
oh,
What do you want my
mate.
whole womb for?
Because they're like, if we can't stop the bleeding,
You can stop the bleeding. Just stop the fucking bleeding.
Literally. Just stop it.
I feel like they made that decision way too quickly.
What the
We're just gonna
hell?
have to take the whole thing out. Fam.
They didn't even jump to that. They leaped
They leaped.
off a cliff to that conclusion. What the hell?
It was a lot. Like,
My heart.
I know. And again, I knew I couldn't like say, yeah, okay. Because I think I would have woken up with no, your body can just fail. Like, I just feel like your words are so strong, like so strong. So I was just like, no, okay, but I'll sign this, but no. Do you know what I mean? But whilst they're like rushing me, like I've never seen so many people run. I thought this was an episode of ER. Like, it was crazy, like crazy. So then we get into the theatre and my midwife, again, does her stroll into the room. And then she's just on the computer while they're like trying to take out the epidural, which was quite funny because the doctor that said it is working, he then was like, no, she said it's not working. So I'm like, oh, now you know it's not working, yeah? Like, so they changed that over. And then like I couldn't feel anything. I was just there. And then they were like packing me, packing. And then like eventually I think they managed to like stop the bleeding. And then I called over the midwife. I was like, oh, have you seen baby? Like, do we know what's going on? She goes, oh, me and you are here. What would I know?
If I can slap somebody, I swear. How can she slap? That would be me, because what can I dash at you? What kind of a stupid response in a moment like that?
You're just like...
I know you're here. I can see you, bitch. That's one. Yeah. But secondly, it's like, if you don't know the answer, you can still talk to me nicely.
Do you know what I mean? I'll
please
go
give
find
me some
out
respect.
for you.
I will find out for you.
Like, just wait a minute. Let's get into the next room.
Some of these women should not be working as, they should not be working as midwives. Man.
I couldn't, like, I genuinely couldn't believe it. And then
you're going through the most traumatic time of your life. And she's just like...
Can I ask you, were you shouting at them or were you nice to them?
I think at that point I was so depleted.
You were too gone.
All I was asking for was water, actually, interestingly. I was so thirsty.
I was so rude to them.
I was so thirsty.
I think if you're nice and you're relaxed, they actually try to take you for like an idiot.
No, they do. They really do.
Like...
But I think I was just more like, I want to know if my baby's all right.
Yeah.
That I'll deal with you
Your husband
later.
went with the baby?
Yeah, he
Okay,
did.
good.
But then they stopped him at a certain point because they were like, we need to get everything done. So he was like really distressed. And then he said like he had to like, my mum thought he was crazy because he just dropped all the bags and like ran off. Because he was like, that's the first time he ever shed tears since like his parents divorced when they were like much younger. Like, I think it was like 10 or something. So he just went outside and got his air. Because it was a lot. Like, I don't blame him at all. Like,
of course, like his wife is, bleeding out, and he's got a son that's in NICU.
Yeah.
He's thinking, I could lose the both of them today.
Yeah,
Oh my,
do you know what I mean?
Oh my God, you're gonna make me cry.
Like,
Yeah, honestly, it's deep.
it was really deep. So they actually like then pulled me into like HDU afterwards because of how intense it was. So they needed to like monitor me quite intensely. And my mum was there and we just cried on each other. Like, that was the first time I cried. Like, since throughout the whole time. And this went in for like, this was a whole day, by the way, as well. Went into like the whole next day. So I was crying. She was like, no, don't cry now. And when my mum says, don't cry, it makes you cry. She's like, keep being strong. And I was like, no, I'm ready. I can release now. I'm fine. And then my husband came and we just like literally just hugged and cried again for a while. And then his mum came and then we just cried again as well. Oh. Like, she didn't even have the full story, but it was just like very clear that loads had happened. And I was just like, wow, like that was, I did not see that coming, not at all. Like, my whole life flashed before my eyes, not even that. And I didn't even care about my own. I was just like, please let this baby be fine. Okay, yeah. Like this baby's just come fresh. Let him be nice and fresh and everything. But then, yeah, he was in NICU, but he had CPAP. So it's like, CPAP is basically oxygen that's pressured and steamed kind of like, so it's more comfortable for the baby. Okay. But it helps them to like support the breathing.
My son had that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, CPAP. Yeah, I know what that is.
So luckily he was only on CPAP for like 2 days. So my first time like proper seeing him was through FaceTime, which was like, oh, like I just cried and it's like, oh, but he was there, like you could still see him, like he was still breathing a little bit hard and stuff, but it was still nice to know that, you know, he will be fine, like he'll get there. And then, yeah, I was on that for 2 days. And then the other 2 days was him with nasal prongs. So that just like one down. So it's just a little bit of oxygen through the nose. And then after that, they took him out of the incubator. Actually, I saw him like physically for the first time again after all that trauma the next day. So I was like ready, like get these packs out, let me go walking. So I went over to NICU to go see him, and that was just incredible. And thankfully, this is where my nursing career helped, because all those wires and stuff didn't hit me too much. Like it didn't make me feel too upset.
Okay.
So I was able like to hold him and just have my skin to skin with him, which was really nice.
Did you, this is what happened to me when I finally got to see him in NICU, because I had to wait for my legs to be working again.
Yeah, same.
Because I had a C-section again. So when I finally got down to see him, every time I was around him, I would start, like my boobs would hurt. I would get the maddest cramps.
Lactating.
Did that happen to you as well? The lactating was, it was painful. I had to pop painkillers. The cramping was insane, and it only happened when I was close to him, and when I go back to my room,
crazy.
I'm fine again. Yeah.
Your body knew.
Yeah.
I think I had the cramps a little bit. Do you know what? Maybe the cramps started after I first saw him, actually.
Yeah.
But the lactating wasn't great for me. It wasn't good. I think the trauma was too much.
Yeah, of course.
So my body was just not producing enough.
The same thing happened to me, because I had a traumatic birth as well. Obviously, nowhere near as traumatic as yours. But I also felt traumatized at the end of it, and nothing would come out. Like what's it called? Colostrum was just about there, and then that came out, and then after that you sort of expect it to kick in and like start flowing, but that part just didn't happen for me. Like it was coming out a little bit, and then a little bit, and then a little bit, and like, even if I pumped for like an hour, I'd get like this much. Oh my God. Like it was nuts. But I think it's all due to the trauma. Yeah. It's all, your body is just traumatized.
Very, very.
And it can't function the way it would normally function like that.
Honestly, it was a lot. Like, but after I think it was that the next day as well, the midwife that was really nice came to see me just to see what happened. And I asked her, is that other midwife like a bank staff or something? What's going on?
Did you put a formal complaint in?
Oh, well, they came themselves, the hospital. So by the time I was now in postnatal ward, because I fought so hard, I didn't want to leave the hospital without him. So I had to like go back and forth myself to NICU to do this communication just so that I can get into the postnatal ward. Anyway, so from then, eventually I got Zion, like my child, back. And then they were just coming to do antibiotics there. And then we had someone, like a nurse, that they handle sort of like inquiries and do investigations. And they came and said, look, he was full term. And we're just going to go over all of this, because a full term baby shouldn't be having oxygen support like at his like state or health or his condition. So they were like, oh, we want to go through everything. So they kind of like debriefed with me and went through everything that happened. And some of the things she was saying was, oh, the doctors didn't write that. So, yeah. So there was one point where the doctors came back in, and what they saw, I think they said that some of what was happening in that point wasn't documented properly or something. So she was going to pull them up on that. And then that the hospital were going to do a full investigation on that whole incident. So we were called in by the time Zion was, I think it was about 8 months at that point, maybe 5 to 8 months. It's all blurry. And then we had like a whole like meeting in one of their boardrooms at the hospital. So the head of the doctors was there, the head consultant or something like that. And the head of the midwives was there, and then they had a scriber as well. And they sent me their investigation notes prior to that for us to kind of go through. And it was good, like it was thorough, but it was still things that I didn't realize that was happening. So one being, when they went through it, they said that I was someone that was contracting too much in the space of a minute or two. So they said that they've all been debating on whether, at what point they should have given me medication to slow my contractions down.
I had the same thing.
I didn't even know that could happen.
Yeah, so within 10 minutes, you're supposed to only contract 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But I was contracting 10 or 11 times in
same.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which means that every minute I had a
Yeah.
it was like back to back. There was no breaks.
Yeah.
So they gave me that injection and it worked after like an hour. So for another hour, I was having every minute contractions.
Oh my
and then after an hour, it started to slow down and it almost stopped.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no one gave me none.
That's horrible.
So for that whole time, I was just constantly.
That is so horrible.
And how many hours were you going through that? Constant?
I don't even know. Remember, it was like throughout a day.
Oh.
A day?
It was a day. Because I'm sure by the time we went back into the hospital, it was like maybe 9, 10 at night. And then I gave birth to my son by like 7, 8 in the morning.
Crazy.
10 hours. But yeah, for 10 hours, that was that. Then a midwife had said to me, because of the way he was positioned, they should have seen it that it would have been too hard of a labour. So I should have been gone to like a C-section.
Cesarean.
Yeah, I should have had a C-section. Like there was no point. It was too much. And then with that pushing, it actually caused trauma on his head. So he had like, he had like a huge like lump here. Eventually like goes down.
Oh my God.
But it was like a trauma. I can't remember what they call it, like a hemo something. Can't remember. But it was huge. It was like a little cone on his head. Bless him.
Poor baby.
Yeah. So we had to be sensitive with that as well. And then, yeah, they kind of like apologized. But at that point, you're just like, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
I really want to ask the question.
Hmm?
I really want to ask the question. What hospital was that?
Oh, do you know what? I would, but because it's still being investigated in another area, I don't know if I can.
You know, I wouldn't be
But it's in
surprised if
Essex.
it was our hospital. I wouldn't be surprised.
Tell us off camera.
I will. I'll tell you off
I
camera.
wouldn't be surprised, bro. I swear, if it is, I will lose my shit. You know?
If it is, I'm going to scream.
No, I'm not gonna scream because. Never mind. But
If it is,
someone else just
actually
told
going
me
to scream.
something that they went through at that same hospital, and she hasn't reported it.
Oh,
And she
no,
needs to report it.
No,
She's too
people need to.
like traumatized to, and I'm like, you have to. Oh my! I
Yeah.
can't even say too much about it, but it's it's horrible.
It is a lot. And they were like, they looked at it as well. The other issues is that they just didn't have enough staff, like, to manage that. And they're going to reteach the midwives and give them further training about CTG monitoring and what else was there? Managing escalation, like emergency. But you're just like, okay, that's good.
You don't have enough staff. Maybe fix that problem first, and actually pay people what they deserve to be paid.
Yeah.
Stop selling off the NHS, and actually put money back into the things that are necessary that make this country what it is.
Yeah.
It all comes down to that. Like, people are leaving the NHS because they're overworked, understaffed, like underpaid. All of those. Who wants to work in a shit environment where it's chaos all the time, and then you get peanuts at the end of the day? Like, who wants to do that?
Do you remember during COVID when they said, we'll clap for you? We're not going to give you a pay rise. But we'll
No,
clap.
we're not even going to give you £1 extra.
Every Thursday, we're going to clap for you.
Clap for you at 8 o'clock. Clap for the
Disrespect
NHS.
This country, yeah?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. And they were so proud of that.
It's crazy.
You get clap. Wow. Wow. During COVID,
Oh.
they were risking their lives, these doctors and nurses, and
And it was a clap.
and they got
It was literally clap, clap, clap.
They
Woo!
said every Thursday.
And then
we'll
that
clap
was
for you.
it.
How were you like postpartum?
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
Was it terrible?
I don't feel like I connected with my baby as much the first couple of months. Like, and that's what could make me cry now. But I don't think
If you
I
cry, I'll
connect.
cry.
Oh no, I won't. I'll hold it. But I don't feel like I was, like, my body just, I couldn't accept. Like, I couldn't accept it type thing. I didn't want to talk much to people. I didn't bother to, like, you know, normally you'd be like, yeah, guys, I've had the baby and stuff. Like, it was, people found out when they just thought, oh, let me message her. And then I was like, yeah, I had a baby. Yeah, the baby's here.
It's crazy how something like giving birth can affect the rest of your life. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't the best. And then I stopped breastfeeding by 3 months. I couldn't do it. I feel like the production of milk was making me very emotional. Like, really, I couldn't do it. I was like, it felt like someone was hitting me with a brick. Like, literally, I was like, this is not normal.
Like, how could something so small hurt you that much? How are you sucking and it hurts that much?
Yeah, it was a lot.
But you're like this big.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
The suction is crazy.
How?
And you see the cheeks.
My goodness, the suction is
It's
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah.
You have to remember he's fighting for his life.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you're fighting for your life.
Yeah.
If I don't get this milk.
Literally. And they burn it off so quick that you're just like, oh, you're actually stuck on me. Like, I can't do anything. And I couldn't. I just couldn't be that still for that long. It was too much for me.
Yeah.
For me, after the first month,
You stopped?
bottle after
know
the first
what?
month.
For someone that was pro, like, pushing parents to do breastfeeding, I think I take a whole new approach now after doing that.
It's just an individual thing, isn't it? It's
And
like
that's
once
what
you
I push.
yeah, because it's like
it's a
it
choice.
reminds me of the midwife we had on, how she was always like really good to her patients and stuff, but she said after she became a mum, like, because when she was a midwife, women would be complaining about nausea. She'd be like, well, I don't know what else I could do, just take this. And she just didn't
there's
know.
nothing else I can do
She
for
got
you.
pregnant and had HG throughout. And she said that it affected her mentally, and she was like, this is messed up. So when she became a mum, it was just a whole different like perspective, you know?
Yeah.
She said she was more gentle with them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Fatima.
Shout out to Fatima, man.
Shout out to Fatima.
Hope you're good, girl.
No.
Yeah, man.
It does make such a difference in how you approach people. Like, it really does.
Yeah.
I understand breastfeeding is important, but do what you can. And then
Do what will make you sane, honestly.
this is it.
Because I feel like it's important for the mum to be good
Yeah.
in order for her to look after her baby.
Yep. 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
It's so
100%.
Do
scary.
what you need to do.
Even when we were talking about postpartum psychosis, like, it's so scary. You don't know when it's going to hit you. You don't even know when you're in it.
Yeah.
You have no clue about any of
Literally.
these things. There's so many risks for us to bring life into this world and then to sustain its living, you know, like to keep it alive. There's so much that goes into it. Just be so kind to yourself, honestly.
Yeah.
Do what you can, because literally I can't come and kill myself.
No.
Because what is this?
No.
100%.
You literally will kill yourself, bro.
Yep.
It's
I think,
not it.
do you know what I said to myself coming down the stairs one day? I was like, do you know what? I'm doing a lot.
You are.
I'm doing a lot. I was like, and this sounds crazy, but I'm working with young people who are going through neglect and they're still thriving, you know, as in their body is still growing. So why am I coming to kill myself in my mind, in my body, because of baby who we're doing a lot for? Like, we're actually caring for this baby, whereas others don't get this care, and he will grow, he will thrive, he will live, he will be good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He will be great.
Yeah.
So that calmed me down a lot. That stopped me in my tracks a bit. So yeah, that was like, sorry, I know it's long, but
No, I'm so sorry that you went through this, honestly.
thanks.
This is something that you could never prepare yourself for something like this.
No, you can't.
You could never have predicted it.
No.
And it was never your fault. And I feel like some people don't, you know, they blame themselves. What could I have done better? What could I have done? What could I have this? No, you could never have predicted that.
Yeah.
Could never have known that was going to happen.
Honestly. And I think, like you said, with your friend and stuff or anyone else, you need to follow up on these things. Like, people need to be accountable for their actions.
Yes.
One thing I did say in that meeting is that I actually served the NHS. And then to get this back from the NHS when I desperately needed you was so traumatic and so sad and disheartening that I was like, gosh, should I even still be in this role? Do I serve these people still if this is what I'm going to get back and stuff? So I'm like, we need to do better. Like, whatever it is that you're going to do to make sure the staff force feel what they need to learn from this incident, then you need to make sure that happens. So people, please, like, follow up with these things. Like, it needs to be done, and make sure you've got a community around you that can, like, support you and have the, like, go back into the right environment. You can't go into postpartum with that stress, plus people stress, plus family stress. Like, it's too much. Like, you have to think about yourself.
Also have the knowledge, like you said beforehand, the antenatal classes.
Yeah.
And obviously it was unfortunate that there was no antenatal classes where you were.
Yeah.
But there is, who's doing antenatal classes? There's, do you remember the lady that sent us an email, Susan?
Yes, I think she focuses on
Yes.
breastfeeding.
So but she does antenatal classes.
Oh, does she?
There's organizations out there that do antenatal classes. Make sure you do your research. Look for, like, from our page, you'll find Karina, who's a black doula. You'll find so many pages that we follow
So many people
helps.
follow us as well. That
Yeah,
are
there's so
antenatal
many.
breastfeeding specialists,
And we're happy to promote them, honestly, because the people need to know. A lot of this is not knowing the services that are available, having no knowledge of it.
Yeah.
When you can go there and learn, and you will feel more empowered going into it than you would have with not knowing anything, you know?
Yeah.
At least that way you can fight for your rights.
Yeah. And I think that's why I made MommynMe even before I even had my child. Because I was like, we need, like, a hub where everyone can get information.
Yeah.
And bring all these things together. Like, you're not actually doing this alone.
Yeah.
There's actually help out there, free help and paid help for whatever the need is as well. So, knowledge is power.
At what point did you start to feel better, and how did you do it? Did you talk to someone? Did you seek therapy?
Yeah, I got therapy. I actually paid for a counsellor, actually. Had about 3 to 4 sessions, but they were quite intense sessions.
They
and
would be,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So that really helped a lot. And then, I just slowly just started to, like, go out a bit, and then, you know, try to go to the gym with my friends here and there. I did have really supportive friends as well. Once you realise, like, oh, this is serious. Like, you have people who mean to be around you to support as well. So,
19 months later, how you doing?
19 months later, I'm great. Yeah. I'm ready to, like, make the changes that need to be made in people's lives. I'm ready to, like, support others who've gone through the exact same thing, or if not worse, or little, whatever it is. Your own personal pain is your pain, do you know what I mean? And I'm ready to, like, create a platform where I can help the mums, I can help the child, and I can help their learning experience as well.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It definitely, because, you know, when I was talking before, it's based on knowledge, like reading
textbooks.
books. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's, like, matching up the empathy, the trauma, the this, and you can relate, like, okay, you're on, you know, a care or social plan because of this and this has happened in your life. Okay, how can I relate to that without, you know, deeming that it's correct? Do you know what I mean? Being confident with, okay, you need to make changes for your children. Like, how is that going to impact them and stuff? So, yeah, definitely a lot more confidence, a lot more empathy to what other people have been through as well.
Wow.
Amazing. MommynMe, let's talk about that.
Oh, yay.
What's MommynMe about? Do you do events and stuff? And
yeah, we do. It's been, like, sporadic here and there, but I think it's because of just knowing what the main focus is. So for me, I just pull it down to 3. It's the mother's mental health, it's the mum, and that looks like coming together with other mums, you know, doing things for yourself, and like, just sustaining a time where you can have more of you yourself again and stuff. And that looks like, presents as me doing things like sip and paint for the mums.
That's beautiful.
I love a sip and paint. Even though I've never been, I keep telling myself,
I love a sip and paint.
You need to go and do one of the sip and paint. Oh,
it was really good.
never been.
I had a lot of fun. But it wasn't there was music, but I also did fun games, prompted deep conversations as well, because you just don't know what you can learn from another mum.
You don't know at all.
Just don't. And it was so amazing. Like, I had so many different walks of life talking and being confident to talk about what they've gone through as well. So that was nice. We did a bit of role play as well. That was quite interesting. That was quite funny. And then the other part would be looking at the young person's development, the child's development, just encouraging their attachment, a secure attachment with the mum as much as possible, because there's lots of studies that say if you have a secure attachment with your baby and your child, that actually impacts how they have relationships in the future.
It does.
I'm in the job because they didn't have a secure attachment.
Yeah.
What
Do you know
does
what I
a
mean?
secure attachment look like? Like, if you were to define it for people who don't know.
Oh, okay. So I would say it's that your baby feels confident in their emotions and their needs are being responded to.
Yes.
I would say it's being able to go through the emotions that they experience and that you experience, but in a healthy way as well. And they feel confident, really.
To come to you with any...
Yeah. And just confident to just keep growing and know that there's not going to be repercussions of any sort of distancing. And also it looks like no trauma that's... Like, everyone's got trauma, but trauma that doesn't start impacting the young person. So we're talking about like parental like drug use or like, you know, domestic violence around them. All these little things can impact the young
Abuses
person.
of different kinds.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Yeah, which is what I deal with a lot now. So I wanted to be able to then form a platform where I'm like, it's the early intervention again, right? It's just creating a platform where all of that can be dealt with there. Where I felt like I wasn't reaching enough in my current role where I am. And then the third part is just a learning hub. So trying to provide information and connect people as much as possible. I know it's already, like this, what I'm doing has already been done, but I'm a strong...
It's not about that.
Yeah.
That nobody else is Caroline. So
Exactly.
That's what I literally was going on to.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Take the same model, redo it again.
Yep, literally. And I think I did a lot of comparison before, if I'm being very honest, when I looked and saw everyone else's platforms. And I was like, no, like, I'm
No
looking
one
at
else
this.
is you.
So, yeah, you know, everyone, there's going to be people that are going to hear my voice and they're going to have a change from my voice. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And hopefully I help people as much as possible.
No one else is you.
Yeah.
No one else has your knowledge.
I have to keep reminding myself that as well.
Yeah, no one else is
When we
us.
started this podcast, I was thinking there's so many podcasts out there.
No, there's
talking
no
about
other us.
motherhood, and they have much bigger platforms and they're more educated on this topic and blah, blah, blah. And then I get DMs from people saying, when's your next episode coming out? I'm waiting. And I'm like, fucking hell, man. That's so cute.
And then we get DMs like,
You know?
you literally saved me during
Oh my
the
God, how
postpartum
many
period.
people
Like,
said that?
I felt so alone. And then when I discovered your podcast,
It was amazing.
I heard your voice, you know, like when somebody hears you, it doesn't matter how many people are doing motherhood stuff. No one else is you.
Yeah.
No one else has your experiences. No one else has your knowledge. No one else has been through anything you've been through.
Yeah.
You are a unique voice and it needs to be heard.
it.
And I really can see you writing a book.
She did write a book.
I have
didn't
written a book.
She wrote a children's book.
No, like an actual book.
Oh, like an
a
auto.
manual.
Oh,
like
okay.
Speaking about like children and the secure attachments and parents and early intervention and speaking about your life story. And I can really see it.
That's so interesting. A few people have said that.
I think
to me
you
as
really
well.
should
From
do
the
that.
perspective as a
That's
pediatric
invaluable
nurse.
knowledge.
Yeah,
I really
yeah,
think you should
facts.
do that.
Definitely. Like,
Tell us about your children's book.
Oh, my children's book. So, as well as all these things, I love mental health. As you remember, it's coming up on the
I'm
screen.
the
I
king
didn't
of
bring the
the
physical
jungle.
copy. Silly me.
Oh, I wish you bought it.
I know. I forgot, guys.
I'm the king of the
But
jungle.
hopefully we can put like the link.
I
in
will
there.
put the wherever your website, wherever you're selling it, let me
Yeah,
know. I'll put the
yeah.
links in for
This
you.
is so cute.
That's good.
Yeah.
The little mouse. Look at the little mouse. Oh, look at the little mouse. It's very cute. I love it.
So the point of the book was to help like parents start a conversation about your emotional well-being with a young person. It's a story that leads to like a little sentence that hopefully that the parents can start discussing with them. Like, it's an open like forum for them to then egg them in to start the conversation and stuff. So I think it's so important to start early rather than later. If I had those conversations when I was younger, then I wouldn't have gone through as much as what I did and going through all this unfolding that I had to do and relearning and stuff.
For real.
So I think it's so, so important. And that's why I made the book.
I love that, you know, when our parents moved to England from like Africa or the Caribbean or wherever they came from, they came here for us to have obviously a different life and different experience. But they could never have predicted the struggles that we were going to face in this country or like the things that we were going to go through and how different it would be in the gap. They could never have predicted that, how big the gap would get. And now I feel like our generation is doing the most beautiful work with regards to mental health and undoing all of the things that we learned as children or that were taught to us or that we experienced. And it's so important because now our kids are going to have a good start to life, like all the other kids, you know, who've got advantages that,
honestly,
you know, that we didn't get. I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Even like the generation below us, what are they called? Gen Z.
Yeah.
They know their shit.
They're different. I love it.
A new breed, right?
I love it for them.
They know their rights, them one.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
amazing.
Yeah.
They're different. Like my little son, you'd be like, no. He'd be like, no.
Oh, my
No,
word.
heck,
Listen, when they get to 4 years old, oh, my daughter.
It's cheeky.
My daughter, she literally, I'll be like, put that back. And she'll look at me square in Sainsbury's and say, but I don't want to put it back. I'm like, put that back. I have to give her, you know, the eyes. Those mum eyes. And I'm like, put it back. She goes, no. Me arguing with a 4-year-old, I never thought I would see the day. I'm arguing with a 4-year-old in the middle of Sainsbury's. People are looking at me like, who is the mother here and who is the child? Literally bickering back and forth. Put it back. I don't want to. Put it back. No. Mummy, I don't want to, Mummy. I want to take it with me. I'm not paying for it. Yes, you are. I don't have money. Yes, you do. 4 years old.
Gosh, yeah, no. And that's a child that can talk. I have one that don't speak, but can tell me how he wants life. So I was like, oh, you have to actually be like smart and creative with how you discipline these young people now. So
Yeah, you really do have to put in effort. But I think it's so nice because now we're spending more one-to-one time with them, whereas our parents were like, shut up. Just sit over there, shut up. just be quiet.
Yeah, literally.
But now we're like, oh, you
It's
know,
so
I think
true.
let's play the quiet game.
yeah.
Let's play the silent game. Let's see who can be silent for the longest.
I tried that
I
so
win.
many times. You know how many times when Jenna, I get overstimulated. I'm an overstimulated parent.
So am I. So am I.
Because I have a
Very.
newborn who does want me to put him down, bless him. And I have a toddler who, bless her, she's very chatty. So I hear him and I hear her and I get really like, and the TV's on loud and the iPad is on loud and the
I'm
washing
going to get you
machine's
some
on.
earplugs.
Oh my God. I
gosh.
just want to run away sometimes.
I'm going to get you some earplugs.
So I literally have to say, listen, I'm like, Jenna, quiet time. Because I want to focus on one child at a time. This guy is screaming. I can't even change his nappy without him like having a meltdown. It's a lot. And every time I tell her quiet time, she'll be quiet for like 30 seconds. Those 30 seconds are just...
In her mind, that's a long time.
It's a long time. And then she just bugs out, starts talking about something else again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's
quiet
gonna be
time.
exciting
Yeah.
when
It's
he
long.
talks.
It's a long day. But listen, we have to start wrapping up now. I can't believe it.
It went so quickly.
Did.
Thank you for coming and joining
Thanks
us.
for having me, honestly.
Thank
It's
you for
been really
coming.
nice.
Please follow Mummy and Me, guys.
I'm going to put all
Check
your
it
links
out.
and everything.
Thank
Is the
you,
book on
guys.
Amazon?
Yes.
Go on Amazon, search for
I'm King of the Jungle.
I'm King of the Jungle.
I'm King of the Jungle. Don't worry, everything is going to
Yes.
go in the description box,
We will
guys.
put everything down.
Yeah.
And I'll also put links. Are you on TikTok as well?
Yes. No. Yes.
You
Yes,
should,
I'm on TikTok.
honestly,
I am,
do
but-
some videos.
Yeah, I done like a few, but I need to do better with it.
I think you'd be amazing, honestly. You have so much knowledge to give.
Thanks.
You have so many like experiences and so much wisdom. I feel like we need to pass this on.
Oh,
Facts.
thanks, guys. Well, it's been really good.
Yeah, thank you.
I was a bit
man.
like, and then now I'm like, this has been really nice. Very cozy, and you're both lovely.
Thank you.
I'm glad we made you feel comfortable because I don't like when people
Me
are nervous.
too.
I'm like, don't worry, you'll be okay. After
Yeah.
like a few minutes.
We're
yeah.
totally harmless.
Yeah, we'll be.
Great.
But anyways, thank you, man. Thank you for coming. And shout out to your sister as well.
Yes.
Shout out to your sister being here for moral support. Bless her. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Please like, comment and subscribe. Follow MommynMe. If you have any questions, send us a DM and we'll do our best to pass it on or answer. And you know what? I think people need to start commenting and telling us what you would like to see from us. Yeah. Because we have so many ideas, but we don't know what you guys want, you know? Yeah. Maybe we'll do like an Instagram post. Yeah. Or a stories. Exactly. Tell us who you want on here. Like, tell us what you want to see.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, give us topics if we haven't covered any already. And we'll add it on. With this topic, motherhood is endless.
It is. And we love it when you tag us in people's posts and be like, you should go on Entry Level Mums. We love that shit.
That's cute.
We love that shit.
That's really cute. But yeah, that's it, guys. Until next time. Thank you for watching and thank you, Caroline.
Thank you for coming on, Caroline. Bye.